In this video I'm going to be teaching you the 3D hamstring mobilization exercise. The 3D just signifies moving in 3 different planes of motion. So we have the sagittal plane, which is the front back motion. You have the frontal plane, which is anything going left and right. And then you have the transverse plane, which involves any kind of rotation. Now the hamstrings are typically stretched only in the sagittal plane, either via toe touch or putting a heel up on a chair or something and reaching down towards your foot. But obviously they also play an important role in controlling the frontal plane as well as the transverse plane when it comes to functional activities like playing sports or doing higher level activities. So in order to ensure that your hamstrings are properly warmed up for all these change of direction movements, we need to make sure that we are stretching our hamstrings and mobilizing them in a fashion that incorporates all 3 planes of motion. We also have to consider where the hamstrings are attaching. So they attach from the ischium, which is in the bottom portion of our pelvis, and they attach to the bottom part of our knee. So you have the biceps femoris, which goes on the lateral part, it's the lateral hamstring, and then you also have the semitendinosus and membranosus, which go more towards the inside part of your knee. So in movements that involve changing directions or loading into and out of a hip, you're going to be loading different hamstrings with different movements. So in terms of the sagittal plane, what we're going to start with is just a rock back onto our right foot. So keep in mind that whatever leg is forward is the leg that you're going to be mobilizing in this case. So we'll be mobilizing our left leg. So we'll go here and just rock backwards and up. Notice that the ankle remains in a dorsiflex position with the toes upwards towards the ceiling. If I put my foot flat and I stay in a plantar flex position, I'm not going to feel as much stretch through the hamstring. So make sure you keep that toe up. And in order to increase the stretch, what we'll do is we'll just reach down towards our hands. So using arms as a driver of motion can really influence what tissues are being loaded. So the difference between no hands and a reach down towards my foot is going to be a massive change in the amount of stretch and load that I place through my hamstrings. So you can reach forwards, and then you can also change the position of your reach to bias different structures within the hamstring complex. And generally speaking, regardless of your reach, and though that involves some transverse plane rotation motion, this is predominantly moving in the sagittal plane. So we can do this on the other side, reach down, toes up, reach down, and we can change the position of our reach to bias certain structures relative to others. Next we have the frontal plane. So we're going to be moving again in this left-right direction, and we can influence different fibers of our hamstrings depending on how we reach.